Welcome to Sisterhood Sips. I am Jen Garcia. I am an actress, a podcaster, and a writer. And the no-nonsense chick that's going to get on your every nerve with the stone cold truth. And here I have my Sisterhood Sips co-host,
Lily Washington of YB Limited. That is the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can also find me on The Block with Jen every night with this lovely young lady and our guys. But the guys aren't here today. This is about Sisterhood Sips.
We had to get away from the guys.
Yes, so we can get like soft and pink.
Right.
And like talk about dicks and stuff the way we really want to talk about them.
Right.
But today we're talking about what, marriage?
Yeah, we're talking about marriage, but not in the way people usually talk about marriage. This is a very controversial stance that I found out you have as well. And a lot of other people are coming into this. Ladies and gentlemen, marriage is a sham.
Ooh.
You heard me say it. Marriage is a sham. I have a saying, Dow, don't vow. Okay, Dow, don't vow. You can look up the word Dow. I don't mean Dow Jones. I literally mean Dow, don't vow. Lily, what is your take on why marriage is a sham? I have a myriad of things, but...
Right. I'm like, what is my take on that? Because I can go on and on of why, right? Okay, first of all, I feel like we're not even monogamous.
Oh.
We're animals that have been socialized just so that society can function, which is a good thing, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, we're not monogamous naturally. So it's so hard to be like, oh, okay, I'm 25. I met this wonderful person and I made these vows. Okay. And for the next, however, lifetime, I'm supposed to like have this one penis and I'm supposed to grow with this particular person. We're supposed to grow together for the rest of our lives. Come on now. That doesn't sound like a sham to you?
I mean, it's great to sell diamonds and Hallmark cards and Valentine's Day cards, but I think it's a sham in the sense of what bothers me about marriage most is the forever thing.
Right.
It's the forever thing. We go through phases, right? We go through phases, we grow, and it's very, 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 very rare, needle in the haystack rare, that you're going to have another human being in your life that is okay with you growing, right? And exploring life. Every year we're a new person. We're exploring new things. So let's just say you're married to somebody, right? You feel a certain way the first 5 years of those marriage. Year 6, you'd like to see what a threesome feels like.
Right.
Year 6, you want to change your career. Year 6, you realize, oh my gosh, I don't want to have children. Right? Is that significant other? Is your husband or your wife, right? Because this isn't gender specific. Is your husband or your wife going to say, you know what? I'm cool with you not wanting to have kids. Or I'm cool with you changing your career. Or I'm cool with you wanting to try a threesome, right? Because we grow, we explore, we talk to people, we watch movies, we read books, and then we want to do other things, right? And it's very, very rare that your significant other is going to want to flow with you. What happens with the other person? They panic.
Yes, I went through that.
Right. They panic, and then what happens after that? They try to suppress you and make you feel bad for what it is you want differently in your life, and then divorce happens.
Yes.
Okay, 50% of the time marriages don't make it, and I would like to revisit that stat because I think it's more now.
I do too. Since COVID, I think it's gone up. And not just COVID, but we've been doing social media longer. So we've been doing this experiment real time, all of us. And yeah, that's like, but I tell people this. Think about who you were when you were 15, when you were 25, 35, 45. For God's sake, when I'm not even the same gender as I was for those ages, okay? So yes, things change. Like anything can happen.
Right.
Anything can happen. Then you're expecting this person, like, I've made these vows, and and I mean, it just doesn't make sense when you put it up against the human psyche. It really doesn't. So then you add on children, right? And that creates a whole new dynamic. Anytime you put a new person in your house, you got a whole nother dynamic as well. And then you realize, like, I'm telling you, I say this a lot. Married people don't make it look appealing.
At all.
They really don't. They do on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
They do on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
And I'm going to tell you, the glossy of the pictures, the more, like when you buy those picture frames that has those beautiful families in it.
Yes.
I know people who, like, their whole feed looks like that, but I know them.
Correct.
And so it's like, I know how people because I feel like they feel like they have to put on like that to justify their decision. But we know they question it, right? I mean, we see it on the show all the time on our other show.
All the time.
You know, they definitely start questioning the decision. Then they start doing this whole midlife crisis thing. They start going after the 304s, and the men do, the women, they start
Slide in those DMs.
Yes, the women, a lot of us, we start to entertain the guys in the DM because like we can't even negate social media, right? Before, you were probably, if you were married, right, you were, the people who were probably going to try to take your significant other was probably at work or at school or something like that. Now it's the world.
No, it's the world. It's literally the world. And the thing with human beings is that, you know, every era is different, right? And it's either you evolve or you evaporate when you can't get with the times. And the times, like you said, now with the explosion of social media, this is a daily part of our lives. This is no longer for leisure. We wake up in the morning, we check our social media. Throughout the day, we check it. Before bed, we check. It's a big part. And I say, if you're getting married, people get couple counseling. Like, let's do counseling before marriage. You must. It is imperative you incorporate your time on social media. And people say, it's not that serious. It's not going to affect my marriage. But I say over and over again, your significant other cannot, it is impossible to compete with the attention that they get on social media.
I'm thinking of somebody right now.
It is, Lily, it is impossible. And you can be famously in love with your significant other, but social media gave everyone the opportunity to be a celebrity, right? And celebrities have many, many, many options. Right? Celebrities are famous and loved by many people. So you can love your significant other famously, but you drop a sexy picture, man or woman, you drop a sexy picture on social media. Now you can have up to hundreds of people liking you and wanting you and calling you sexy and calling you attractive, right? Again, not gender specific. Men do it and women do it. So now it's like it's more appealing to be loved by many than to be loved by one. And we've seen that on our other show, On the Block with Jen. We are on there. Don't we have lots of married people constantly there with us every single
night.
day? And have we not seen the wives in the background? You're on there again, right? Even the husbands, you're on there again because it's not gender specific, but it goes to show the appeal of socializing is more intoxicating than just me going home to the one wife or to the one husband.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do couple counseling, you must include social media. It's not that serious. It's extremely serious. People start affairs via social media. People hook up with that high school sweetheart on social media. And people just they're afraid of letting their significant other grow. And I think that's for the most part why marriages do not work out.
So I have a controversial take on if you're going to get married.
Okay.
Right. If I was president, right. So we're going to elect me as president for 2 seconds. Okay.
Let's
so I
go.
can tell you how I'm going to switch this shit up. Okay.
I'm with her.
All right. Boom. This is it. I believe in short-term contracts.
Oh,
Yes. And because we just don't know where we're going to be at within the next 5 to 10 years, right? That's one. The other reason why it keeps both people on their toes, okay? I feel like every person that, this is me as president, before you get married, you have to go through couples counseling. That should be one of the things that's discussed is social media. The other thing is like, what do I expect from you? What do I want from you? Like, because we go into it with like, I love you. You're so sweet. You're so nice. That shit's going to change.
yeah.
Okay. We're people. We're going to go up and down, right? So it's like, what do you want out of this? Because really, that love thing was introduced like in recent times. It was always about upward mobility and generational wealth, right? That's another thing, because I don't even believe if you're not planning on having children, why are you getting married? That's a whole other situation. But I'm assuming that these people that are going to get married, they're planning on having children. So upward mobility and generational wealth should be at the top of the list. And then you go from there, right? So you have this short-term contract, I say 5 to 7 years. You come back to the drawing board every 5 to 7 years and see, hey, do you want to sign another contract? Because that's going to keep people on their toes. Because you and I both know that, I'm sorry, guys, you guys get very complacent in marriages. So it'll keep them from getting complacent. It'll keep us from getting complacent as well, right? And then that's how I look at it. Oh, and I believe I would also implement a prenup period, for everyone. Because yeah, we both may not have much when we start, but who's to say somebody won't come up? And the time to negotiate those things is now, and not when you hate each other.
Right. And I just think that the way people view marriage still is archaic.
Yes.
I always say, if you're going to get married, I don't believe in the longevity of the forevers, but if you're going to get married, you must revamp the vows. The vows are unrealistic. In sickness and in health is bullshit. For rich or for poor is bullshit. Because when people are rich, they're a certain way.
Two different people.
When people are poor, they're a certain way. When people are healthy, they're a certain way. When people are sick, they're a certain way. When people are fit, they're a certain way. When people are obese, they're a certain way. So you're dealing with different people. It is unrealistic to say, well, I'm going to love you for sickness and health, for rich or for poor. And then when that person is poor or that person's fat, now they're a completely different person. They're ogre. They're miserable. They don't want, it's unrealistic to think that someone's just going to go with you through all the ups and downs of life. Again, it's possible, but it's very, very rare. Going back to complacency, men get comfortable very, very quickly. And what they do is, in their minds, they rationalize, I'll supplement with something outside. Right? The secretary, the girlfriend, the best friend that lets me hit every now and then, long as I keep this intact. Meanwhile, the marriage is deteriorating and women file 80% of the time. So men get the short end of the stick either way, right? Now, women love marriage, the party, the rings, they get to tell their girlfriends, but then they get complacent as well. And even worse for women, we start fantasizing and imagining better sex, better guy, the boss. The boss is hotter than my husband. Oh my God, 500 people on social media think I'm sexy. So why am I with this one guy when 500? It's the illusion also of options. That'll get you.
Oh, because I came for the guys. Okay, I'm about to make it even. I have to come for us ladies. I believe, just based off of observation, and I've always been like the resident confidant, whether we've been friends forever or you just met me at a bus stop. I don't know what it is, but people just want to tell me, their life story. And so what I see is, I think a lot of us women like the idea of marriage and children. But then when we get the actual thing, we're like, it comes with all this?
Yes.
This is not what I was thinking about. Like, even with me, I thought I wanted children for a long time. I really did. Because I'm so good with children. They love me and all of those great things. So I'm just like thinking I would make an excellent parent, right? And I'm like fantasizing like me as a parent and having this kid and just all these fun things. Fun. And I mean that. All these fun things.
Kids are fun.
Exactly. But then I wasn't thinking about the illnesses, the doctor's appointments, the broken bones, the all the stuff that comes with
wiping
it.
the booty.
Yes. The fact that they're a whole human being with their own personality, right? So, and then the other part of it, I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna raise them to be a free thinker and raise them to be a rebel and all of that stuff. And I'm like, hold on. They may resent me for that.
Right.
Because a lot of people go into like parenthood wanting an extension of them. It's like an extension of their ego, right? I don't think it's a good or bad thing. I just think it's a human thing, right? And then I was just thinking about all of the realness of it, and that's when I was like, okay, you know what? I don't need to be a parent. I just want to play dress up.
Right. And the thing with marriage is that the older you get, the more you shed, right, what you've learned along the way. And by learned, I mean what adults have put in your head, what society put in your head, what religion put in your head, right? We grow up, with our parents, and whatever they believe, that is who we are, right? Because people think, going back to what you said about children, they're carbon copies of you, and they're not. They're their own little people with their own souls, their spirits, their own, some people say, oh my God, your child is so different from you, because they're a whole other different human being.
Right.
That is why they're different from me. And that gets lost, right, in parenting. So, you have to think, when you're growing up, you're reared a certain way. They stick in our heads. You grow up, you go to school, you graduate, you get a job, you get that 401k, you get married, you die, and then so on, right? But as you get older, you're like, wait, is this what I want or what my parents wanted? Is this what I want or what Jesus said? Is this what I want or is this what society said I should be doing? And you start shedding those things. And if you get married too early, what happens is you start shedding those things and you got a whole other person that you vowed to love forever. And it's like, fuck. So what do women do? Straight to the courthouse.
Yep.
Right? Because we start shedding everything that we were told. And I always say adults happen to children. Children are born, they're beautiful, they're free mind, clean. They're not born in sin.
Oh
okay?
God, yeah.
They're born, they're these perfect specimens with a blank brain, and adults happen to them. This is what you have to believe. This is our religion. This is our political belief. This is who we vote for. This is what we eat. This is, and then the kid grows up, and then what do? As we get older, we start shedding things. I don't like rice and beans.
Right.
Right? I don't feel religious. I don't want to submit to this. I don't want to be a ballerina, or I don't want to be an attorney. We start shedding, right?
Yes. Because, I always say this. I had to think about this in my own life. I was like, if I was born in Kentucky or Afghanistan or Japan, I'm going to have a whole different belief system based off of where I was born alone. Whatever and whatever tax bracket I was in, my skin color, all of those things, my hair texture is going to create my belief system, right? And so I was like, okay, so as of right now, my belief system is shaped by all of those things from my environment. But what do I truly believe? Let's erase all of those things. And when I did, oh my God, if I would have done that while married, I would have guaranteed 110% been divorced, because I became a whole nother person after that. Because before, I was trying to be a carbon copy of my parents because they wanted me to. And that's what I thought society wanted of me. But I was miserable. And I see it all the time. But the thing is, a lot of times when people are miserable in marriage, they still have to keep up that front, because
Absolutely.
you stuck now, especially if you got kids, you stuck. You got to figure it out. So that's what made me realize, like, let me take a second, think of this, because I'm looking around. There's not many people that seems to be truly enjoying this situation, right?
Yeah, and the hardest thing for people to understand, and I think men have a harder time with this than women. Marriage is conditional, right? You said earlier it was, for upward mobility, right? And people, it makes men cringe that women like money. I always say, look, men like sex on tap, women like money, men like comfort, women like protection. It's just how it is. That is nature, right? And they're constantly trying to fight nature. It makes men cringe, like, oh, she wanted him for his money. Let me tell you, those are the smart people.
Right.
The wealthy men, or the men that are well off, or the men that have regular jobs and just come home and be like, look, I give her the money, or she takes care of the stuff, I bring it in, she takes care of the children, she cooks, she cleans, whatever. The traditional way, that's how it's supposed to be, right? No matter what tax bracket you're in. And it is conditional. So honestly, the people that, I know she wants me for my money, and the women are like, well, I want him because he has a lot of money. That's the smartest.
Right.
That is the smartest, whether you like it or not, whether it takes the whimsy and no, I want you to love me unconditionally no matter what. That is a farce. Okay?
Right.
It's a farce. It's unrealistic. Humans do not work that way. It's like, I'm giving you this and I'm giving you this so I can get that. That's the human way. Monkeys do it.
I was just about to say, we're going to go there. It's not just the human way. It's like the primate way. Because I always go back to that we're socialized animals. And so when you look at that, the woman is always going to look at the guy with the most resources in that village or that tribe. That's who's going to stand out to her, because it's for protection and providing, right? That's
Surviving.
Survival. It's always going to come down to survival. And so, and like you said, there are men who understand. The people who understand nature tend to fare better in relationships, because they're not trying to go against nature and then wondering why they're miserable. Because listen, I think a lot of times people will fight back against the point that marriage is a sham, because people have been married for so long. Oh, they've been married for 40 years. I'm like, well, do they like each other?
Right.
When was the last time they talked to each other?
Right.
And we've talked about this before, how we always ask older people and people who've been married a longer time, like, what's your secret? And you would expect this poetic answer with the stars open and the moon shines when I wake up and roll over and see him. It's never that.
Never that. It's hard, girl. It's hard. You have to put up with so much. Oh, they roll their eyes. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to. Life is too short to tolerate another human being. There are also other ways. See, men think that if a woman is not madly, deeply in love with them and their feelings are all involved, they're still not going to get a satisfactory marriage, right? And I'm talking to the people who still insist on getting married. I think it's a sham. But, if you still insist, you have to go into it more realistic for longevity, right? You can get loyalty from a woman just being a great provider, right? You don't have to stroke her down a certain way. Women are loyal by nature.
Right.
And I know people are going to go crazy in the comments. No, they're not. They're witches. You know what I mean? But women, it's very easy for us to be loyal if we know we can always count on you and you're always going to look out for us, right? But men, a woman needs to be in love. And oh my God, it's unrealistic because love is fleeting.
Yeah.
It's a feeling. That's why everybody watching this, you and I both, all our exes, we loved them, did we not?
Right.
And if most of them were on fire right now, we wouldn't piss on them. And not because we hate them, but because we got other things to do and we got a new guy we
Just
like.
not thinking about them.
Yeah, we're just not. We got a new guy we like, right? So it's like you have to go. You can provide for a woman, and it's still going to be the same outcome. She's still going to give you great sex because she feels safe. Okay, she's still going to be loyal because she doesn't want to rock the boat and take away that safety or that the provision you've provided. You know what I mean? It's not. You're still going to get the same effect is my point. But men is like, no, I want her to love me if I get fat. I want her to love me if I lose all my money. It's not realistic because you are a different person. When you had money, you were sexy as fuck. Right? And now that you're a different person, right? Now she looks at you differently. So it's unrealistic to say, well, now because I lost everything, you're leaving. Yes, she's leaving because that's not what she signed up for. Vice versa, not gender specific. If a man marries a woman and she's beautiful and all eyes turn when she walks in the room and now she's obese, he has the right to leave. And people hate when I say that. And people are like, no, now listen, needle in a haystack. There are some men, I watch My 500-Pound Life or 400 whatever. Some men stay there feeding the burgers to the 500-pound woman, right? But those are needles in haystacks. If that man has options, he is going to leave, and it is his right to leave because you are no longer fit. And people are not going to like that, but that is the real deal. That is how human beings operate. So if he wants to leave because she's obese, he has every right. That is not the same woman he married.
Well, men are visual.
Very.
Right? So for you to expect you to be a whole nother human being, and I mean visually, and he's going to still be in love with you, that's unrealistic to ask of that. And women, we like to be protected and provided for.
And adored.
Right? So you already know when you lose that job, the clock starts ticking.
Yes.
I know you about to get out there and slay another buffalo, right? Okay, I mean, I'll hold it down because you've been holding it down, but I know you're about to go out there and try to find another buffalo, right?
Yes.
To drag back up into this house, right? Because when a woman has to go out, find a buffalo, slay the buffalo, and drag it back, she's going to have a dick. A penis is going to start growing, okay? And the more a woman digs into her wallet, the bigger the penis gets.
The drier we get.
And that too. And then keep going back in that wallet, she starts smacking you upside the head with that penis, right? And so,
and it's nature.
That's where I was going with
it's
it.
nature.
It's just nature, and we put our feelings into that, but it's just how it is. See, a woman's currency is a lot of times her looks.
Yeah.
Right? And then a man's currency is in his wallet, right? And people just don't want to see that. And that's the part that kind of gets me confused or kind of irks me because I'm like, why are you all so confused? I don't know what you're so confused
Lily,
about.
but there's so much tangible evidence.
Yeah.
That's the issue I have with human beings. There's so much tangible evidence. People like throwing around stats. 80% of it, women are filing first. 50% of the marriages fail. We have tangible evidence this is not working. And I'm still saying it doesn't work because how you go into it. You have unrealistic expectations. Again, the vows are archaic. No one deserves to be pigeonholed to you mean even if you get really, really morbidly obese, I have to love you? And women are also delusional. It's not just the guys, if we're going to be fair. Women are emotional.
Yep.
So we're always like, no, you're supposed to love me even with my stretch marks. Even when I get fat, I pushed out 3 children for you. It doesn't matter. You still have to keep up a certain appearance to have that man turned on when he goes home. I understand childbearing is hard. I understand nursing children is hard. But you can do it, especially if that man is providing for you. With that said, if you live in a 50-50 home, gentlemen, you better fix your face and not expect for her to be a Stepford wife when you come home.
Yeah. Because the woman who is well kept and the 50-50 woman and the woman who's paying it all, those are three different
Thank
women
you.
and three different experiences. And if anything, and if you start off with one of those and something, and like, let's just say you start off with the guy is paying all of the bills and she's well kept. Well, yeah, he should be expecting all the head on tap and the house to be clean when he come home and all those
Absolutely.
things, right? I mean, come on now. And then, but then say if he's like, hey, we got to start going 50-50. Okay, you can't keep getting all of these same service because now she has to go out and get a buffalo as well. So she's going to be just as tired as you and all of those things. You have to be willing to like compromise a little bit in that area because now this is a whole different woman. Okay. And then say you lose your job or whatever and you don't have one and she has to be the 100% woman. Yeah, just shut up.
Right.
Yeah, just shut up.
Right. And you know, we have to think about, you know, just being realistic.
Yeah.
Just be realistic.
So what do you think, okay, when it comes to the fact that, because a lot of things dynamically have changed in relationships because women are now out earning men, getting college degrees more than men. And I see online a lot of men not taking well to that. They're unraveling a lot behind that because what is happening with those women, they're like, oh, wow, I don't have to have anyone to help me in this house to pay the bills. And I don't have to wash any clothes for him. I don't have to smell any farts, right? So, I don't need to get married. I don't even really need a full-time relationship. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm good. No, you're not. You're going to be lonely.
Yeah.
You're going to be alone.
And here's the thing, the problem.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, because the problem is that men they're trying to build skyscrapers with the same tools that you would build a log cabin with. Okay.
I love it. Good analogy.
Okay. So what they're doing is women have completely morphed and changed. Now we have the modern woman, right? Quote unquote, the modern woman, right? Now men are still trying to oppress that modern woman with the scarlet letter. You 304, you slut, you for the streets, you for the streets. That worked on the log cabin. You have a skyscraper now. Women don't care. They're calling themselves bees and 304s, and you got Amber Rose slut walk. Girls are getting T-shirts that say slut on them. Women no longer care about being shamed, right? Into being, you know, coy and quiet and submissive. Women no longer care. You have to drop those tools that you were building the log cabin with because women don't care anymore. And you have to build that skyscraper because that's what she is now, right? So you have to kind of like go along to get along, let that go, right? Understand that modern women are sexual. Modern women have their own money. Modern women have more options. So I think that men and women can still get along famously if men let go of yesteryear. You're dealing with a whole new female form and you're still back there. My dad said you're a 304 if you have more than 5 people in your body count. That doesn't work anymore.
Yes.
Women do not care and men are not pivoting well. They're not, and that's why they're unraveling. And these men are free in the red pill, and women don't care.
Because everything I hear, their talking points come from 1958.
Yeah, easy.
I
mean, they're even starting to. Women shouldn't vote. Good luck back there where you are. We're all moving forward.
Right. And
we're all moving forward.
I like when you say let's evolve or die. It's just that simple. And I say it I like your way too. I say it in a different way, pretty much like swim with the current.
Yes.
Just swim with the current. And this is something I have to tell myself and remind myself because we are living in a different paradigm now. Like everything is different. And so I have to rethink things. I notice when I start getting frustrated, I'm like, hold on, stop. Why are you frustrated? And I'm like, oh, because I want things the way they were. I liked it the way it was.
Yes.
And then I have to remind myself, we're not there anymore.
I think that's the hardest part for men specifically. And you know, I like to be fair, but I'm pointing out men here because they're the ones going ham on social media, like going ham, like trying to suppress. I'm going to call you a 304 until you stop. And the woman is like, I'm not going to stop. I'm actually going out to Miami this weekend and we may have one night stands.
Yeah.
That's where women are now. So men are panicking and they need to find these women who will fit in their frame and do whatever it is that they want them to do, right? But even that gets boring because that fit in my frame guy is going to be looking for the quote unquote 304 because she's more exciting. So now that you've got this woman to, submit to your religion and your frame and all of this, now she's sitting there. She's boring as fuck. She's lame. And your nature as a man, sir, gentleman, your nature as a man is a challenge.
A conqueror.
A challenge. So you're going to want that hot, sexy thing that you can't tell what to do. That's just how it is. So, evolve or evaporate. Gentlemen better catch up. Again, I think I say that women and men can still get along famously, but men are not going to achieve that, trying to suppress women and throw a scarlet letter on them. Women no longer care. We are here. We are strong. We are modern. We still love our men.
Yes, and that's the thing. We love these guys. We love y'all. We really do. Especially because you and I, we know some wonderful men,
Absolutely.
And so I want to make sure we point that out. Our contact list, we
Hi,
always
guys.
we always talk about y'all. We love y'all. So yeah, this has been a good episode.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So don't forget to hit like and subscribe. You're going to want to hear more and more from Sisterhood Sips. Okay. You want to be the fly on the wall. Here it is. So one day at a time.
One sip at a time.